31 Days of Dread, Day 1. We're talking something that has been on my mind leading into October 1st, leading into the first release. Everybody, you've seen the thumbnail, you read the episode title, you know we're talking The Purge for the 31 Days of Dread, Day 1. Let's go, people. Don't get too scared. Hey, coming out of that intro, this is Peter, your host. Peter A. DeLuca, aka Pad, and that's where you can find me on Snapchat, Twitter, aka Pad13, on Instagram, aka Pad.com, on the interwebers, and I believe aka Pad69 on Xbox Live and Twitch. We may have to verify the Twitch, but I'm not broadcasting yet on Twitch, so that really doesn't matter. But hey, how's everyone doing? Hope everyone's doing well. Yeah, this is fall. We're in October 1st, and I'm excited because I'm sitting down with you, and we're doing something that started in 2017, which is Dream Warriors, the 31 Days of Dread. And this is where we do a horror movie a day for 31 straight days, and it's so a lot of Dream Warriors is focused on long form conversation. We like to analyze and reanalyze, and even go into our excitement for movies, and then let it sit and we talk about it, and sometimes we talk about it immediately after we see the movie. That's probably the case for the upcoming Venom. Venom comes out this Thursday. We're doing 31 Days of Dread definitely is going to be focused on Venom. So there's going to be a 30-minute discussion about that. Maybe like a 30-minute crammed episode, but there definitely will be, during October, a Venom Special Edition episode. So keep an eye out for that. But let's get back to my point in describing the show to you. So Dream Warriors is long-form conversation. The 31 Days of Dread is roughly a 30-minute conversation per movie and or per topic. So tonight, right now, it's the Purge. And why am I talking to you about the Purge? Why is this day one? Just keep in mind too, there's no I have a light list of the first like 6 or 7 days of the movies and films I want to get to for the 31 Days of Dread. But right now I'm talking to you, I'm sitting down, and it's strictly spontaneous. Because recently I just saw the first Purge. That came out July 4th, 2018, not too long ago, the day right before my birthday. My birthday is July 5th. And I just recently saw it, and with a female companion, friend, special lady, I watched the first 4 episodes of USA's The Purge TV show. Now, here's one thing. Outside of football, that's the only thing I've watched on TV since the Super Bowl. I haven't watched any serialized entertainment since before the Super Bowl. Haven't even watched TV since the Super Bowl. Okay, and yes, the Super Bowl was watched here on the TV. I didn't go out for the Super Bowl, but yeah. So this is one fascinating film franchise. I think this is the peak film franchise of our lifetime. I will put this above Paranormal Activity, The Conjuring series, even though like The Conjuring has splintered off in so many delightful ways. I still want to get into Annabelle and The Nun, and I believe there's a third. I'm not sure if the third one came out yet. And I will have to double check. I'm not even sure if I even saw Conjuring 2, but no, the Conjuring, the Insidious movies. I will put this above Saw. And quick side note: if you hear anything happening in the background noise, it's because I'm talking to you from a movie set. 17 Bridges is being shot not only in my building, but actually on my floor and throughout units. So if there's rumblings and echoing, it's the movie guys going back and forth, and they're putting me up in a hotel room. But I said I have to do as much Dream Warriors around the film set as possible, because I just think it's just so special. I think it's very cool, and I'll tell you one thing: these guys, they run a tight ship, and they work 8-12 hours a day. So I give anyone involved with film production thumbs up and full credit. But yeah, so the Purge. Okay, the concept of the Purge is that through the government, you're allowed. I believe it's 12 hours of a crime-free America. You can do whatever you want for 12 hours, and the science fiction point of this. And I say science fiction point because it's loose logic. They play it loose for a reason, and also that's what makes it fun. It's that you're supposed to purge your anxiety, your anger, your angst, and you have one night of letting it rip, and then we go back to normal. This is a hell. It's a hell of a concept. And the concept I found out with more and more people I talk to about this that haven't seen the movies, or, just maybe afraid to jump into them. Like, people aren't blind. Like, I don't think there's much of a movie consumption culture as we once had. But people aren't blind to movies and what's available. When I describe to them what the Purge is, what the big idea is, their eyes get wide. They want to see the movies. And it's almost like they storm out. So, So the first Purge came out June 7th, 2013. And these figures blew my mind. I'm just going to get into the box office real quick, but these figures blew my mind. So the budget for the first Purge was $3 million, and it went to make roughly $65 million. How is that for affirmation for that you have a brilliant idea? Now, next year, 2014, it became a July release. So July 18, $9 million budget. Second Purge movie is called The Purge Anarchy, which is great title, and that grossed roughly $72 million. Raised the budget, they got more of a return. The Purge 3, which is election year, maybe the best concept that they'll have for a Purge. Just like out of the gate. The title alone, the posters, the advertising, everything about election year is top notch. And they've raised the budget by $1 million, so we got a $10 million movie, and it roughly hit $79 million. July 1st, 2016. And then we skip a year, which I thought was good. I like seeing that. It's not. I remember the Saw movies coming out every year, and even with the Paranormal Activity movies, and it just got a little too much. I think sometimes skipping a year, or sometimes even two, you kind of want to. There's anticipation that builds. That's the word I'm looking for. But yeah, and then July 4th, 2018. The day before my birthday, we have what is called the first Purge. The concept for the first Purge is like day one, year one of this experiment, and they call it the experiment. They really they don't start calling it the Purge until like halfway through the movie, and we've had something. We've had a shift between 2013 and 2018. And my biggest knock against the newer Purge will be that it is a highly politicized movie. They put the 2016 election in this movie, and oh my God, they misfired. They lost an amazing opportunity. When it comes to acting and directing, some of it, just whatever. Like maybe someday I'll get more of a detail into that. I don't like platitudes when like you kind of review movies on that light, but uh, yeah, the politicizing of the first Purge subtracted from the story they could tell. With that being said, the first Purge, the newest one, and look, you can watch these movies backwards to forwards, meaning you start with the first Purge, you go into the Purge, you go into Purge Anarchy, and then you go into the Purge 3 election year. That is a hell of an arc, and that's a lot of fun. And the point I'm getting at is the first Purge is definitely worth watching. There is more to take away from that movie. That meaning that there is more well done with that movie than not. Yeah, so if we go through the plots real quick, really it's the Purge and it's election year. Those are your higher plot driven movies. The first Purge is essentially a home invasion movie. That's what it was sold as. That's what it was set up. But, like it's almost like you're locked into your house and you have people who are disguised. They have a mask, and they're trying to get in. And it's that moral dilemma because obviously someone comes knocking on your door looking for help, and for Ethan Hunt is in the Purge, and Ethan Hunt is very intelligent on the smaller movies he picks, and it's shocking to me that he did not get picked up by the MCU, Star Wars, or the DCEU. I don't understand how he doesn't get higher roles, because he does sniff out high concept stuff, and he ended up in the Purge, and the other movie that visually, like if you like to conflate the two, would be Daybreakers. They kind of came out around the same time. Visually, they kind of look the same when it comes to advertising and posters and things like that, or just publicity shots, I'll say. But anyway, Ethan Hunt does have a nose, and I give him a lot of credit for it. He's also a comic book author. A lot of people don't know that. But yeah, so one of Ethan Hunt's kids lets in the guy knocking at the door, help me, and then, here we go. The movie's gone. Confession time. So the Purge Anarchy didn't stick with me, didn't resonate with me. I saw the movie one time, and I haven't seen it since, and it's hard for me to speak on Anarchy, but the Purge election year, I saw one time. I saw all the Purges only one time. Election year definitely stuck with me, and oh my god, it is such an amazingly well shot movie. They knew what the franchise was by that point. They knew the lights during dusk and nighttime, that people would actually prepare for the Purge, almost like Christmas. The themes of some of the gangs, and it's like there's a brutality in the streets, almost like a Roman Colosseum level of, if you're in the car, I think election year solidified the trope in the Purge movies, where if you're driving in the car, you're going to see things. You're going to see horrific things just by driving. It brilliantly created that trope, and I don't know. I think that will be borrowed from filmmakers and generations moving forward. But yeah, and the poster, you had this guy with an Uncle Sam mask, an American flag, AK-47, which is just brilliant. And the whole plot is that we have a political movement to stop the Purge, which was, if I remember, was teased at the end of Anarchy. In Anarchy, we saw that there was this resistance. And now with election year, we have a presidential nominee who wants to shut down the Purge, and that's not going to happen. And I do forget how it ends. I don't know if the girl dies at the end, or both movies have Frank Gallo too, Crossbones from the Captain America, Winter Soldier, and Civil War movies. an MCU-er, but I don't know. Election year is the best concept they're going to have for a Purge movie. It's so well executed, and it's the Purge cranked up, and it's good, and it's a go movie, meaning that you're being chased and all these things, and it gets into a little bit more of some of the creepier stuff too. You see more of the high society and how like other parts of society, and you, again, like they kind of hint, they lean towards the Purge having nefarious purposes, meaning it's population control, which they get into on the first Purge. And I'm telling you, like the first Purge, the best parts of the movie is what's happening in the control room. What's happening, the dialogue between the woman, Marissa Tomei, who created the Purge, and some of the methodology behind it. The movie opens with an interview process of the people they're allowing into the Purge, and it gives you wonderful insight to how this thing got started and what some of the barriers were to get this thing going. And definitely they do reveal it was population control. It's the world doesn't have enough jobs, doesn't have enough money to go around. So it's the Thanos argument. But regardless of that, and regardless of some of the politicizing aspects of it, sure, it does subtract. But what we have now between the Purge and the first Purge movies is we kind of have a sci-fi universe that is built on violence, built on horror, built on Halloween. The visuals alone are incredible. They called to what drives us in Halloween, why we like Halloween. Like if you're into political science, if you do follow politics, what the Purge does ignite is the policy engine in your mind, because you start thinking of what they should allow and what they shouldn't, what would be good for the people, what wouldn't be good for the people, what are they taking too far, what do they have to reel back, and this is the push and pull of any political ideology discussion. Would you believe the role of government to be? And the Purge movies, I think, opened that up to a lot of people, and it's hard to watch those movies without having those discussions around and after and before those movies, and I think that's thrilling. There's really nothing that does that. It's not even politically driven movies, biographies, or historically driven movies do that. They're more as a matter of fact in their presentation of the concept, rather than they show you, like the Purge will show you the repercussions of decisions when it comes to government policy, and it's up to you as the viewer to accept it, or to kind of even be passive on it. But you start to calculate, like your computer brain works, and you start saying like, oh my God, should people in churches during Purge night be killed? Should churches be off limits? And you go on and on with the Purge TV show, which I'm just enjoying that because it is nothing but schlock. And I love schlock. I like schlock that knows what it is, and again, platitude. That's fun. That is just it kind of swings for the fences, and this makes sense, but immediately after we're getting something else that doesn't make sense. But we follow a couple different threads in the TV show, which was artfully done. One of them is being high society through the political organization that has created the new founding fathers. Like I said, the political stuff, the political science fiction in the Purge is just fun, but they have what's called the new founding fathers, which created the Purge, implemented it, and now we're all better for it. So, and it's like the NFFA. I do not know what that stands for. Don't butcher me on that. But yeah, so we have an NFFA party, we have a cult, and then we have almost like a hunt, like someone looking for someone, and then we have like the business, the high business. And the business one's interesting because everyone's on lockdown to get this deal done, and a woman pays someone to kill her boss, and she's like immediately getting regretful on it. But yeah, I've only seen up to episode 4. I think that's all that's been released. Episode 4's title is, I think, Release the Beast, or yeah, maybe Beast Mode, Beast from the East, something like that. But it's just like a fun thing. Now, the 4th episode did have a weird angle of women protecting themselves against the purge, and they throw around these statistics in a weird modern conversation type way. But if you kind of let that pass, and it's like a thumbs up, or just like, hey, can we just get on to the next scene? But the TV show like approaches so many of these concepts, like the political organization, like the mindset of the NFFA people, this very weird cult that sacrifices its members who are like enlightened to be purged, and they're sacrificing themselves for someone else to release their like frustration and anger. We have someone looking for a relative that's in that cult. The business one also very cool. They're working on the business deal, and they're locked down, and the building's surrounded by security guards, and they're shelled in and protected. Like that angle's kind of cool. We just got introduced with a bunch of female characters, which are, like going around saving women, because women proportionally are the ones harmed through Purge Night, through rape and so on and so forth. Like, that's a cool angle. So the Purge TV show, it's on USA. It's a 10 episode event. I don't know where the show's going, which is great. There's some relationship drama, or like very odd relationship drama between the 1% people, but it's like you kind of let that go, because it is a TV show, and you do have to pull in emotion and just like sell things a certain way. I don't follow it for that, but no, I'm thoroughly just enjoying the Purge show on USA. I'm hoping it ends with like a bang. Maybe we'll do like an update when that's done. Maybe we'll do like a Purge part 2, or like a Purge TV show discussion when that's over, because it's obviously going to wrap up during the 31 Days of Dread. But yes, and like what can we compare the popularity of the Purge franchise movies to that came before? The only 2 that really come to mind, and they didn't do it, which was the Friday the 13th Jason Voorhees film series got its own TV show, and I remember watching that, and my sister and I loved that show. Well, I don't know if we loved it, we watched it, and but we were still confused that there was no Jason Voorhees, that they were kind of relic hunters. Very similar to the Nightmare on Elm Street, but those were immensely popular franchises that tried to go into syndicated television, and didn't bring the concepts with them, didn't bring the characters with them. So it's like, what is really happening here? You can relatively call both of those shows anything you wanted, but yeah, I get it. There's a value, there's a selling point to a name, but I don't know. But the Purge carries it all the way through. The ideas introduced in the movies carry over, concepts, details. It's so freaking interesting, and like I said, like the Purge opens up a 2 sides of your brain. It really opens up the imagination side. Like the thoughtful imagination, where you're digging, you're trying to discover things, you're calculating, you're putting things together in your own mind. And the second part it opens up is just a horror, like the blood. Like the Purge TV show is taking the concept of the gangs even further. Like like everyone is, there's just themed gangs, very very much the Warriors. But we're getting it, like every other shot, especially with the cult, because the cult's driving a bus and they're delivering people to be purged, and everyone's like a different themed gang, and it's so freaking cool. It really is. And some of the gangs are just creepy. That's what I mean. Like the purge digs around that side of you. When you're helpless, when you're like in shock, when the rest of the world immediately stops making sense, and just knowing it's legal, knowing it's sanctioned, it's approved. Like it's amongst regular discussion. Like I don't know. And the coolest thing is that like they might do this in a TV show because you got the time to burn. But what happens to people after the purge, right? Like these are the things that come to our mind. This is what I'm talking about. Like what's the cleanup like? Is there free repair? What if you owned a shop and it got purged and burned down? Does the government rebuild it? Like how does purge insurance really work? Like is it really targeted for poor people? Is it really targeted for population control? Why don't the poor just rise up and start destroying everyone and everything? Like I said, these concepts are rich, and it shows you the power of the purge concept. So people like bashing these movies. They really do. They get highbrow, especially the horror fans. And there's no franchise. Like I think right now, I mean, it might be like overall, like if you took all the franchises and cobbled them together, no franchises represent so much about the human condition that the Purge does. Period. And I think that's where I'm going to leave it, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in to the 31 Days of Dread, day one. I will be, we're still doing the football episodes. we're going to be doing special editions and Dream Warriors proper, because we got upcoming Dream Warriors episode 100. All of these things are coming for you. So run for the hills. But look, have a great day. Go out there, create something, have fun. Just really go out and create something. Or if you can't, if you know someone that's there, help them. Help their dream get on. Become a producer, become a money man. We all know people in life that are amazingly creative that have no money because they're just not good with it. We gotta be honest about that. And people need nudges, and they need they need a little bit of guidance. And if you're listening to this, you're one of those people. I know it. Just do that. And I'll see you next time, because the Dream Warriors train isn't stopping. See ya. Here we go. Spooky noises. So hey, coming out of that intro, hope you enjoyed it. This is Peter, your host. I'm one eclectic dude. So happy Halloween, everyone. Day one of the 31 Days of Dread. And yes, it's not quite Halloween yet, but we like this sound test for Dream Warriors. Doing a little sound test for Dream Warriors.